Fine. Look at my screen. Today we are going to discuss a very important concept. If you know this concept very well, okay, if you know this concept very well, you can serve an automation engineer. Okay, you can survive in automation for next 3 to 4 years. Okay, 0 to 3 years. 0 to 3 years you can aram se survive. Are you understanding? 0 to 4 years you can aram se survive in the automation industry. Okay, you can survive 0 to 4 years in the automation industry. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? So what is that concept? And it's a very important concept. Okay, it is very important concept. As I told you, if you know this concept very well, you can survive 0 to 4 years. And it is very simple, nothing is there. You have to just learn three syntax. Okay, and you have to just learn three syntax, and it is very easy. Okay, now look at this. So what it is, let's understand what it is. Let's understand. Okay, now look at my screen. Step number one, look at my screen. Now I want to write a program. Okay, I want to open the browser. Enter the URL of google.com. I need to get the address of search text box. Okay, I need to open the browser, enter google.com. I need to fetch the address of the search text box. Then I need to refresh. The page. And I need to enter the data. Okay, I need to open the browser, enter google.com. I need to fetch the address of the search text field. Then I need to refresh the page. Then I need to enter the data. That means an input. I need to enter the input. Scenario is clear? Okay, now let's do that. Let me start writing the code. Now, web driver is equals to new Chrome driver of. Let me import web driver. Let me import Chrome driver. Driver.manage.window.maximize. Driver.get. Driver.manage.timesout.implicitly wait. Duration of seconds. 10. Okay, now let me go into the URL of the application. That is google.com. Now let me go and inspect the element address. Right click, inspect. This is by using name locator. This is by using name locator, driver dot find element by using name locator, copy paste the value, store it inside one variable. Store it inside one variable. The return type of this is web element. Return type of this is web element. ELE dot send keys. ELE dot. Now what I need to do before typing? So driver dot navigate dot refresh. Driver dot navigate dot and just type it as what? Oh, okay, understood. So whatever scenario I've written, I've just converted those scenario into program. But is clear till here? Code. Let me run the code. Is it typing phone? Is it typing phone? Is it typing phone? No. Now, make a note of the exception. Make a note of the exception. Make a note of an exception. Done? Finish writing? Now, let me explain you why is the reason you got this exception. How many of you got this exception before only? How many of you seen this exception in prior? How many of you got this exception in prior? Very good. Very good. So, how many of you got this exception in prior? Now look at my screen. Stale element reference exception. Stale element reference exception. The reference of that element has become old or expired. Understanding? What's the meaning of it? The reference of the element has become old or expired. And look at my screen, everyone. Okay. Now you've written the program, corrected? You stored this address into one variable. You've stored this address of this element into a variable. What is the variable? ELE. Correct, right? So we have found that address, driver.find, and we have found that address. We have stored that address into one variable. We call that variable as what? ELE. We store that address into one variable called as ELE. So we are going to refresh the page and we are going to type it. So what it is saying, the reference of the element, this is a reference. The reference of the element has become old or expired. When the page get refreshed, when the page got refreshed, that element address got expired. When the element address got expired, you get what? Still element reference exception. What do you get? You get still element reference exception. Clear? Everybody's clear? Okay, when the reference of an element has become old or expired, you get what? Still element reference exception. Clear? This is first drawback. This is first drawback. That's the first thing. Second thing. Second thing. Guys, let's consider a login page of an application. See, there is application is made up of so many pages. Everybody agree? Application is made up of so many pages: login page, home page, card page, n number of pages. I'm just considering one page. Example, I'm just considering one page. It consists of a login page. It has username, it has password, it has radio button male, female, login. Okay, so you have written a code for this. What you have written? You have written a code for this. Driver.find element by.id is equals to username dot send keys. Driver.find element by.name is equals to password is equals to send case. By.find element by.radio button female is equals to dot click. Dry.find element by.button is equals to login. You've written the code. Super. Now what happens? Now what happens? As an application, there will be what? Addition, deletion, modification that is there always. Now, instead of login, they would have modified to submit. Now, modification they have done. So you should also go right. driver dot find element by dot submit dot click. One modification. Now they did the addition of the code. Forgot password. They did what? One addition, one link they have added. Driver dot find element by dot forgot password dot click. So now tell me, if it is a web page, okay, tell me if it's a web page, you are going to get addition, deletion, modification of the code keeps happening, isn't it? Addition, deletion, modification of the code keeps happening, isn't it? Yes. Now, handling this is an easy job or is a difficult job? Handling this is an easy job or difficult job? See, one page. I'm just talking about what? Login page. I'm just talking about what? Login page. So like that, we have so many pages. Page, product page. Okay, like that what we have so many pages, home page, cart page. Okay, like that we have what? N number of pages. Like that what we have n number of pages. So when you have n number of pages, is it possible to handle them? No, we will not get to know which page what is getting changes. And for doing addition, deletion, modification is also a difficult task for us. Yes or no? To do addition, deletion, modification also, it's a task for us, isn't it? Yes or no? Okay, this is second drawback. Third drawback. Scenario number one. Scenario number one. Open the browser, enter username, enter password, click on login, search for the product, select the product, select the product, add to cart. Scenario number one. Scenario number two. Open the browser, enter the username, enter the password, click on login, search for an element, select the product and click on add to wish list and click on add to wish list. Okay, so first I have to click on add to cart, and second one what I need to do, I need to add to wish list. Okay, two scenarios are there. Now tell me guys, if you look at both the scenario, till here it's a repetition process. Till here it is a repetition process. Only this is a changes. Only add to cart and add to wish list. This is a changes. But you are writing same XPath expression, same elements again, till where? Add to cart or add to wish list. Isn't it? Isn't it? So same repetition of the steps. Yes or no? Yes or no? In order to avoid all this drawback, they came up with a concept called as page object model. Re, in order to overcome this drawback, they came up with the concept called as page object model. Understood? What are the drawbacks we can overcome? Are you understanding what are the drawbacks we are able to overcome? So we can overcome all this drawback using page object model. Got it? Got it? If you know this concept, you can survive in the automation industry from 0 to 3 to 4 years. You can survive in the industry. You can survive in the industry. Clear? Okay. Super. Okay. Super. Now look at my screen. Oh, 1 second. Start writing the theory. Start writing. Start writing the theory. Start writing. Start writing. Guys, I'll give you 5 minutes of time. Go through the syntax. Go to the syntax. Declaration, initialization, and utilization. Go to the syntax. Done? Finished? Okay. Now look at my screen, everyone. Look at my screen. Since you people were writing, I just kept quiet. Look at my screen now. I need to explain three things. So, as I told you, in POM, we have three stages. Look at my screen. Now, the explanation I'm doing. In POM, we have three stages. Okay. So, what are the three stages of POM? We have declaration, we have declaration, we have initialization, declaration, initialization, and utilization. And utilization. Okay. In POM, we have three stages. One is declaration, one is initialization, and one more is utilization. Let's try to understand in every one of this in detail. Step one is declaration. Step one is declaration. So how do you declare the element? Syntax. Okay. How do you declare the element? Syntax. Syntax. Look at my screen. Annotation find by locator name is equals to locator value private web element a component name. Component. Okay. Annotation find by locator name is equals to locator value private web element and the component name. So this is the syntax for the declaration. Clear? Clear? Everybody's clear with the syntax? Okay. Now what happens? Let's assume. Oh, one second. Let's assume there is some element. Let's assume there's a username text field. Okay. One second. Okay. Let's assume there is a username text field. When I right click inspect, input ID is equals to ABC. Okay, let's assume. Apply this into the above example. How do you apply? Annotation find by locator name. What's a locator? Anything. ID, name, link text, partial link text, XPath, anything you can be. ID, ABC, private, web element. Which element are you making it as private? Some variable name. Component name is nothing but it's some variable name. Let me give it as username text box. Let me give it as username text box. Understood? Understood? How do you declare an element from now onwards? Is it clear? How do you declare the elements from now onwards? Isn't it? Now, you can ask me a question. What is difference between find element and annotation find by? What is difference between find element and annotation find by? So from the day one you can ask me, ma'am, from the day one you taught me find element. Find, correct, right? Okay. You can ask me a question. From the day one you have taught us find element. Correct, right? So find element, it is used to do only find the element in the browser. That's all. It's a help, nothing else. What's the use of find element? It is used to find the element in the browser. What's the use of annotation find by? Annotation find by is it is used to find the element. It is used to find an element, and also it is used to declare the element. And also it is used to declare the element. So find element, it is used only to find an element. That's all, nothing else. But annotation find by, it is used to find the element, and also it is used to declare the element. Clear? And also it is used to what? Declare the element. Okay, now look at my screen. So you understood why are we using this annotation find by. Correct, right? So you are using no elaboration, only so much is the elaboration. Okay, so annotation find by, it is used to find an element also, and it is used to declare that element. So that's the reason we don't use find element. Instead of this, we are going to use of annotation find by. Now, locator name is equals to locator value. So you know ID, name, link text, partial link text, everything you know. Okay, locator. Which locator? So ID is there, you write ID. If name is there, you write name. If it is link text, you write link text. So depending on the locator name, you write the locator value. Clear till here? Clear till here? So whatever the locator it is, ID, name, link text, everything. Next, private. So here we have used the concept called as encapsulation. Okay, here we have used a concept called as what? Encapsulation. Okay, so what is encapsulation? Private, protecting the data members and making them private. That is called as what? Encapsulation. So we are making it as what? Private. What are we making? We are making it as private, such that nobody should be able to access this element. Okay, so what is private? Private is nothing but it's like we are making it as private so that nobody should be able to access the element. Nobody should be able to access the element. So that's the reason we are going to make it as private. Web element, the element which is present in the web page. Okay, so what is this? Web element. The element which is present in the web page is called as the web element. Is called as what? Web element. So the elements what is present in the web page, so those elements we are making it as private. Are you understanding? The elements, whatever the elements are there, username, password, okay, the text fields, drop down, mouse over, right click, every element we are making it as private. Why are we making it as private? Such that nobody should be able to change it. So this declaration is done by someone. So someone has written the code and they have done the declaration of the code. Now any fresher who sees this, why this fellow has written by ID? Can I make it as XPath? Can I give it as name? No. So only read access will be given. Only read access will be given such that we are going to make it as private. Such that nobody should be able to modify this locator. Okay, such that nobody should be able to modify the locators. Next, component name. What is next? The next is component name. Component name in the sense whether it is a username text bag or password text bag, it's a login button, you have to specify the component name. It's nothing but a variable. Are you understanding? Okay, so this is the syntax. Next comes to your what? Initialization. Next comes to what? Initialization. Now, how do we do this initialization? Step number one, we are going to create a constructor. You know the constructor name should be same as your class name. You know the constructor name should be same as your class name. So we are going to create a constructor. Inside a constructor, you are going to write one statement. That is what? Page factory dot init elements driver comma this. So what is page factory? Page factory is the class. Init element is the method. Page factory is the class. Init element is the method. So driver means it's a application level of access. And this means it's a current page access. Current page access. Okay, so what is page factory? Page factory is a class, init element is a method, driver means it's application level of access. This means what? It's a current page access. Understood? Understood? Okay, now what is the use of it? What's the use of it? Look at my screen. Whenever the pages get refreshed, addresses changes. So whenever pages, okay, whenever the pages get refreshed, addresses changes. Whenever addresses changes, what happens? We get the exception. Are you understanding? So whenever the pages get refreshed, address changes. Whenever address changes, we get stale element reference exception. Okay, whenever the pages get refreshed, addresses changes. Whenever the addresses changes, we get stale element reference exception. Okay, now what is the use of this init elements is whenever the pages get refreshed, automatically it will go and assign a new address. What it will do? automatically it will go and assign the new address to avoid what? Still element reference exception. What it will do? It will immediately go and assign the address so we can able to overcome this still element reference exception. Clear? Is it clear? So immediately what we can do? We can go and change the address. We can go and change the address. So we get what? Still element reference exception. Clear? Everyone is clear? Okay. Now look at my screen. Now, last one. Utilization. Utilization. So here we are going to create one simple method. Here we are going to create one simple method. And we will call the component name and will perform the action. What's the component name? The component name we have written here? Username text box. What's the component name we have written? Username text box. So what is an action will you do it on username text box? What's an action will you do it on username text box? Typing. So we are going to use a method called as send keys. So we are going to use a method called as send keys. So what's an action we are going to perform? We are going to perform an action called typing. For that we are going to use a method called send keys. Understanding? Understanding? Okay, so first we are going to create a method and here we are going to use the typing send keys and we are going to perform the action. Clear everyone? Okay, that's all. If you learn this syntax, one more I forgot to give. One more theory is not given. I'll just make a note. What is tail element reference exception? Whenever pages gets refreshes, addresses changes. When address changes, we get whenever pages get refreshes, addresses changes. When addresses changes, we get stale element reference exception. That is, the reference of the element is old or expired. Finished making a note? Finished making a note? Finished? Finished? Okay. Now, first let's eliminate this still element reference exception. Okay, let's eliminate this tail element reference exception. So how do we eliminate this tail element reference exception? Now look at my screen. Now, you always know from now onwards, no find element. No driver dot find element, no driver dot find element. Okay, you understood what's a drawback? From now onwards, no driver dot find element. Okay, now look at my screen. Everyone look at my screen. So what we will do now, I want to eliminate. If I run this program, I get still element reference exception. Correct, right? Now, let me eliminate this. Let me eliminate this. Let me create one class. Okay, this is Google. Click on finish. Now, let me go on eliminate. Right click, inspect. This is by using name locator. This is using name locator. Tell me how you write it. Annotation by using name private element. Name of this is search text box, and this is search text box. So this is how we are going to declare the declaration is done. We have to do initialization. Let's initialize public Google elements. So I need to write it as driver comma this, driver comma this. Okay, but the driver is not declared anywhere. Okay, driver is not Can you all see my screen now? Am I audible? Can you all see my screen now? Okay, I'll tell you from the beginning. I'll tell you from the beginning. Okay, now let me tell you from the beginning. Now, look at here. Look at here. So, I need to open google.com. Whenever I refresh the page, I get what? Still element reference exception. Now I need to avoid this. Now I need to avoid this. Now how would I avoid this? Now for that I will go with this page object model. Let me create a class Google. Let me click on finish. Let me create a class Google. Let me click on finish. So step number one, annotation find by, okay, using which locator? Annotation find by using name locator. Name locator. Private web element, and the component is search text box. Okay, so everybody understood? Declare an element. Next, initialization. So I need to create a constructor same as the class name. I need to create a constructor same as the class name. Page factory dot init elements driver comma this. Okay, now I need to declare this driver. Let me enter. web driver driver web driver. Let me declare this web driver driver. Now let me create a method. Let me create a method. Public void search text box. Public void search text box. Search. What is an action will you do? Click or typing? What's an action will you do? Click or typing. It's a typing action. Dot send keys. Okay. Don't hardcode the data. Pass it as a parameter. Okay. Don't hardcode the data. Pass it as a parameter. Everybody's clear? Declaration, initialization, and utilization. Everybody's clear? Declaration, initialization, and utilization. Yes, super. Now, what I will do? What type of method is this? It's a static method or a non-static method? What type of method is this? It's a static method or a non-static method? It is a non-static method. So how can you access non-static method? Okay. Non-static method by creating a object. How to create non-static method? By creating a object. Okay. Now what I will do, instead of writing like this, instead of writing driver.findElement like this, I'll create an object for that class. Google G is equals to new Google. I'm going to refresh the page now also. I'm going to refresh the page also. So instead of writing like this, I just call the method g dot search text box. I'll call the method g dot search text box. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? So this is a non-static method, correct? I'll create an object for it. I'll just create an object for it. Okay. I'm refreshing the page. I'm calling the method. Now let me run the program. Then page got refreshed. Page got refreshed. Is it typing phone? Page got refreshed. Is it typing phone? Yes. Are we able to overcome the stale element reference exception? Are we able to overcome the stale element reference exception? Okay. Other advantages that you will see it in the project. Other advantages you will see it in the project. Okay. So let's write one login application using page object. Okay. Let's write one login application using one page object. Okay. Let me create one class. Let me create one class. See, as of now, I just want you to learn about how do you declare, initialize, utilize. That's all, nothing else. Is it difficult? Can't you learn the definition of declaration, initialize, utilization? That's all. That's all. That's all I wanted, nothing else. Now, active time. I'll just create one class, active time. Let's start declaring the element. Step number 1. I need to declare the element. Right click, inspect. This is by using ID locator. Now, annotation find by using ID private web element, and this is username text box. This is username text box. Okay, now let me go. Let me inspect this. This is by using name. Annotation defined by name, private web element, password text box. Let me right click, let me click on inspect. /div text function login. Annotation defined by XPath private web element, and this is login button. Okay, so everybody understood how do you declare the elements? Everybody understood how do you declare an element? Now let's start initializing. Public active time page factory dot init elements driver comma this. Now let me write it as what? Web driver driver. Write it as web driver driver. Okay. Now, so what we have done? Declaration is done. Initialization we have done. Okay. Understood? Okay. Now utilization. Create a methods. Public void username text box. Create a method. It is username text box dot send keys. It's a name. String name. Okay. Next. Public void password text box. This is password dot send keys. Pass it as a parameter. Pass it as a parameter. Now, public void login button. Login dot click. Understood? Everybody's clear? Understood? Everybody's clear? Okay. Now, let me create a class. Test1. Select a main method. Click on finish. Okay. Same old story. Let me copy this. Okay. And let me paste it here. Let me change the URL of the application. Let me change the URL of the application. Now, all these methods, whatever the methods, are static methods or non-static methods? All these methods are non-static methods or static methods? All these methods are static methods or non-static methods? All these methods are static methods or non-static methods? All these are non-static methods. How can you call non-static methods? By creating an object. Correct? How do you access non-static methods? We are going to access this non-static methods by creating the object. Now let me go and create an object. So what is the name of that class? The name of the class is ActiveTime. A is equals to new ActiveTime. Call the methods. Username, password, manager, a dot, login button. That's all. Run the program. Are you understanding? That's all. If you know this much, that is more than enough. If you know this much, this is more than enough. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? That's all, guys. So, manager spelling is wrong. So, if you know this much, that's enough. Okay, and is it easy? Can't you survive in the automation industry? Is it easy? Can't you survive in the automation industry? Yes. Okay, same thing. Okay, this we have just learned about declaration, initialization, utilization. How do we do it in a real time? Same thing only, nothing changes. Okay, here I have just written for one page. Okay, here I have written for one page. But in your project, we are going to do same thing for what? Multiple pages. Now I'm written only for one page, correct? I've just written for the login page. But in the project, we are going to write same thing for multiple long page, home page, like this multiple pages we are going to write. That's all is the difference. Understood? Understood? Okay. Please write one login script and you guys can live. Okay. Write one login script and you guys can live the class. Take any one login script. Take it for Facebook or Amazon, any application, your wish. Write one login script. How do we use it in a real time? That I'm going to explain it to you when we are doing the project. Okay, make a heading. Make a heading. One small concept, 5 minutes, make a heading. Steps to download testng. I want you to download testng and come. Okay, I want you to download testng and come. Make a heading. Steps to download testng. Steps to download testng. Open the Eclipse. Open the Eclipse. Click on help. 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 Click on install new software. 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 The button add. Select the button add. Type the name as testng. 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 Okay, post this link in the group. Take this link and paste it over here. Okay, take this link and post it over here. You can put it in this. You can put it over here. You can put it over here. You can post it over here. Okay, done. Click on add. 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 Okay, now select the option testng. Select the option testng. Select the option testng. Select the option testng. Okay, for me it's already installed. For me, what you should do, select the option testng, click next. Click next. Okay, so you have to accept the terms and conditions. Okay, you have to accept the terms and conditions, and you have to click next, finish. Whatever it asks, you tell yes. Click next, finish, and install. Okay, it'll ask you to what? It'll ask you for what? Restart your system. You have to, yes, you have to tell restart. Okay, restart, it will be installed. Okay, it'll ask you to accept the license. For everything, you just click next, install, and you have to refresh. It'll ask you to restart your Eclipse. You have to tell yes, restart it. You have to restart it. Now, see guys, your version of your Eclipse should be latest. Okay, if your Eclipse version is not latest, from now onwards, you cannot write any programs. Okay, your version of your Eclipse should be latest. If it is not latest, we cannot write any programs from now onwards. Keep it this in your mind. Okay, your Eclipse version should be latest. And how to check whether the testng is installed or not? Make a heading. How to check? How do you check whether the testng is installed or not? How to check whether the testng is installed or not? How do you check whether the testng is installed or not? Right click on the project. Right click on the project. You should be able to see the option called as testng. Right click on the project. You should be able to see the option called as testng. Right click on the project. You should be able to see the option called as testng. Okay, that's all. That's all. So it will take 5 minutes. Install and come. Download, install and come. Okay. Today's notes and code is pushed. You can access it. Today's notes and program is pushed. You can access it. POM is understood. If you know POM, you can survive in the automation industry for 4 years, 3 to 4 years, aram se. And throughout your automation, you want it. But if you know this, at least aram se, you can survive for 0 to 3 years. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Let's catch up tomorrow and let's continue with the testng concept. Okay. Fine. Thank you.